Welcome back to Brian's Mostly Metal Updates. This is collection update number 7. This is a horror punk Halloween episode. So as I shoot this, it's 2 days from Halloween. Wanted to do something special. Couldn't really think of anything special. So you're getting a vinyl update. I'm going to show you my Misfits and Samhain records for Halloween. It's appropriate, right? So I got 6 records to show you, 5 bootlegs, and 1 counterfeit. So don't tell Glenn, I don't need any lawsuits, because he didn't get his, 50 cents or whatever for these records. For starters, this is the counterfeit. This is Walk Among Us, obviously classic album, from what year? 1981 this came out. The only reason I know this is a counterfeit is because the place I bought it from advertised it as a fan club edition, which is code for bootleg. In this case, it's technically counterfeit since this is an actual release. Looks legit to me. It's on cheap cardboard. When you look inside, it does seem like cheap, flimsy cardboard. Other than that, it looks fine. It's on red vinyl. Red vinyl. It's got the ruby labels and everything. Distributed by Warner Brothers. It's reproduced. Like I would have never known if they hadn't have told me. So next up, you have again Walk Among Us, but if you notice the picture's different. This is the alternate takes. Now, from what I read online, they were originally going to release Walk Among Us on Plan 9 Records, and it ended up getting released by Ruby Records. They ended up releasing that version instead of this one. This is good. Did I show you the songs? Great songs. It does have a couple songs that aren't on Walk Among Us, the last 2. Songs are in a different order for the most part. I like this. It's good stuff. Not as good as the original release. So, if you're a completist, you need this. Everybody else, the actual album is better than this. So, the rest of you don't need it. It's on black vinyl. Song titles on one side, Crimson Ghost on the other. Next up, we have some bootleg live shows. So first we have We Were 138. This has side A is San Francisco from 81. Side B is Detroit from 83. So you've probably heard side B before. This is from the Why Be Something You're Not public access show from Detroit, which I had on VHS back in the day. I'm sure a lot of you did too. I remember it being bad. I don't remember it being this bad. I'm going to refer to my notes because I listened to all these, yesterday. Took notes. Side A, really good sound. The San Francisco show sounds really good. Side B, really shitty sound, painful to listen to. It's just horrible. And I just want to say now, none of these bootlegs I'm really recommending, okay? It's like, I don't know. A little bit of buyer's remorse I'm starting to get with these bootlegs. I bought several bootlegs. Even the Metallica bootlegs that I showed in the second video. I mean, some of them, the Cape Girardeau show isn't great, I'm trying not to go on a rant. I feel kind of cranky. I don't know, listening to these made me cranky. They're just so horrible. This one isn't completely horrible. This is We Bite. This is live at Irving Plaza, 27th March of 82. This one didn't sound terrible. Like, if you were going to buy one, if you want to own one Misfits bootleg, out of what I own, this is probably the best. And you can put up with a little bit of shitty sound, you know, especially with a Misfits record, I think. So I don't know. Look, I even hate to recommend this one because I'm not gonna recommend Bootlegs because I don't know. Next up, this is live in LA, April 8th of '83. When did I write for this one? Crappy, barely listenable. That's what I wrote down for this one. Barely listenable. So, I don't know. If it doesn't bother you that these sound like crap, you know, go for it. I did, you know. Of course, I kind of regret it too, you know. It's just, I think for what I spent for, I didn't spend a lot. I mean, if you know where to look, you can find the We Were 138 for under 20 bucks if you know where to look. Millionsofrecords.com. That's my connection for Bootlegs. They have a lot of like FM broadcasts I get in. So yeah, that's where I get at least, and I believe the one I just showed you from LA, I believe that's available there too. Reasonably priced. I can recommend millionsofrecords.com. I can't necessarily recommend these bootlegs. Last up, we have Samhain, the Horror of Lodi. You know, as I get older, I'm starting to like Samhain more than the Misfits. I don't know. This what I write for this. Kind of crappy. Could be worse. So yeah, this wasn't good. Wasn't the worst I've heard. I mean, that one from 83, was it 83? Yeah, from Detroit 83, that was just horrible. You know, this Samhain record is on green vinyl. So, you know. So yeah, it's all my records. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Misfits, right? I only saw them one time. I mentioned in a previous video. When I lived in Vegas, I saw the Misfits. Impotent Sea Snakes opened. Yeah, it was after Michael Graves and Dr. Chud had left the band, and the guy from Ignite was singing. Good vocalist, not a Misfits vocalist. You know, that was the problem with him. And Murphy's Law also played. The drummer from Murphy's Law filled in on drums for the Misfits because they had no drummer. Terrible show. Terrible. Had the chance to see the Misfits, you know, since they've gotten back together. They played Vegas. They played MGM Arena like early on when they first got back together. Was going to go. Misfits, right? I forget who was opening. There were some good people opening. Here's the thing. Tickets. I don't remember the exact amount when they played MGM. My recollection was for floor tickets, with all the taxes and fees, it was going to be over $400, okay, to see the Misfits. And I said, no way. I could have got cheap seats, you know, cheaper. They weren't cheap. They were cheaper up in the nosebleed section. Who wants to sit in the nosebleed section at a Misfits show? Come on. You got to be on the floor for the Misfits, right? If I went to see Iron Maiden or Judas Priest, I'd be fine. Sit in the nosebleeds, fire up a joint, enjoy the show, you know. But for the Misfits, you got to be down on the floor, right? I'm not paying $400. So I checked, and the Misfits are playing again New Year's Eve. They're playing Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Now, I don't live in Vegas anymore, so it's not an option. But I checked, and for floor seats, or not seats, but floor tickets, you know, which are the most expensive tickets, with taxes and fees, it was over $350 to see the Misfits. Now, I'm sure they'll sell a lot of tickets, right? Here's my thing. I'm not paying $350 to see anybody, okay? I wrote down some prices. These are just like some recent concerts I've been to, right? Recent shows. I saw Demi-Lich, Antichrist Siege Machine, and Crossbitter, right? $22 was the ticket. Check this out. I saw Exhumed, and you know who opened for Exhumed? Creeping Death, Enforced, and Bewitcher. Solid 4 great bands, right? And you know how much tickets were? Before fees, $18. All right. I saw Deicide, $25. Now, this week, I mean it's the weekend, but this week I'm going to see Merciful Fate in Gary, Indiana. And yeah, tickets were a little more for Merciful Fate. But here's the thing. I could buy 4 tickets for Merciful Fate and have money left over for what it cost for 1 ticket to the Misfits. Here's the thing. Given the choice between seeing Merciful Fate and the Misfits, I'm seeing Merciful Fate every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, obviously you can charge whatever you want for tickets and people will pay it. That's fine. You know, I used to go to a lot of conventions and some people charge a lot of money for autographs. I remember reading that Patrick Stewart from Star Trek was charging $500 for his autograph at a show. And people paid it. You know, that's capitalism, right? I get it. I'm not anti-capitalism, you know, I get it. What I'm saying, I'm not paying it. No fucking way. You know, I'm not paying $350 to see the Misfits. That's that. You know, that's my rant, I guess. And plus, you know, Glenn, I don't know. It's great that Glenn is finally cashing in. You know, he's done a lot of great work in his life. And he deserves to be paid. But I'm just not gonna contribute, you know. You do a club show, you charge $40, I'll be there. You do an arena show and you charge $350, no thanks. No thanks. Not for me. So, yeah, you know, and here's the thing, I'm not a Glenn hater, you know. I used to own the first 5 Danzig albums on CD, you know. I used to, you know, just because I don't think I'd like him personally. He's one of those guys that I don't think I'd want to meet. I just don't think I have anything in common with Glenn Danzig other than music, you know. A lot of people I would like to meet. I'd like to meet Kronos. You know, I'd love to meet Kronos. I don't know if he's a nice guy or not, but I'd like to meet him. You know, shake his hand. Give him a hug even. I don't know. I just love Venom, right? Would like to meet Tom G. Warrior. A friend told me he's kind of a dick. You know, he heard that he's kind of a dick. I don't know. Maybe he is, but I don't know. Yeah, this video was terrible. I'm sorry. This video was terrible. I'm in a bad mood. I shouldn't have tried to do a video, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I can salvage something together. It's going to be a short one. It's going to be a short one for sure. So, is there anything? Tell you a story. I recently listened to Danzig 5. Okay? Like I said, I used to own 1 through 5 on CD. I don't know why. For some reason, I got it in my head. I'd like to listen to Danzig 5. I was reading something and it mentioned Danzig 5. And I was like, yeah, I used to own that. I'm going to stream it. So I streamed Danzig 5, Black Acid Devil. And you know how when you haven't listened to something in a long time, but then you start listening to it, it all comes back to you, right? Because you listened to it back in the day. The first handful of songs, very familiar, right? Like, I just remembered them. As the album went on, the songs became less and less familiar. to the point that it's like, man, I don't remember this at all when I'm getting to the last few songs. And then it just occurred to me, that's because I never made it through the CD. I kept turning it off, you know, before it got to those last few songs. So the first few songs are very familiar. The last 4 songs, it's like I never heard them before, you know. And that's what it was. I just never made it through that album. And that was the last Danzig album I bought, you know. Maybe Danzig 6, you know, was better. You know, I don't know. When I go back and listen, I still listen to the Misfits. I still listen to Samhain. I don't really listen to solo Danzig stuff anymore, you know. And I don't hate it, you know. Just for some reason, that's just not my cup of tea anymore. I don't know. So, man, this video was terrible, I think, you know. But, you know, it's going to be about a week before I do another video because I'm taking a few days off to go to Gary, Indiana for Merciful Fate, like I said. And then the week after that, I think it's the week after that, I'm going back up to Joliet for Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral Immolation. So, you know, I got some stuff in the works. I'm going to shoot footage at both concerts, and we'll see how it goes. You know, what did I pay? Like I mentioned, I paid a little bit more for Merciful Fate. I mean, who cares? It's Merciful Fate. It was under $100. You know, with fees and everything, it was like 70 or whatever. So, well worth the money, in my opinion. Paid more for Cannibal Corpse, actually, because I got reserved seating in the balcony. Because I'm taking a friend, my friend Pete, shout out to Pete, taking him to his first metal show, Cannibal Corpse. And I wanted to get seats, and the only seats in the place were the most expensive seats at the balcony. So I splurged and got us a couple balcony seats. So, like I said, I will be going to Merciful Fate in Gary, Indiana when I get back. I'm sure I'll buy a t-shirt. T-shirts are $40 at Merciful Fate. I'm not complaining. I'm pretty sure when I saw Dark Funeral, their shirts were $40. You know, like I don't know if they're actually printing them overseas and then bringing them with them. So they got to charge more because it costs so much to bring them with them or what? You know, they could just have them printed locally in the U.S. at the first city on the tour, I would think. That seems like the smart thing to do. Have somebody, they start their tour in a major, they only play major cities. There's going to be a screen printer, you know, that could do your shirts for you. I don't know. I'm not complaining. I'm going to buy a Merciful Fate shirt. You know, would like to buy more than one. You know, they have a variety. But at $40 a piece, I think I'm going to stick to one. You know, I'm cheap, okay? I guess that's it. All right. So, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking. If you haven't subscribed, you know, think about it. Watch some of my other videos. Think about subscribing. I really appreciate it. So that's it for now. Next video, I don't know what it's going to be. Might be a tape update, might be another vinyl update, and I'll give you, you know, a concert report for sure. So until next time,